How we doing today, neighbors? Ian with eTrailer here, and today we're going to take a look at and install the Westin Nerf Bars with drop steps. Let's go over a few features of these Nerf Bars, and then we'll get into the install. Now, these Nerf Bars are going to be a great addition to your Tacoma, not just visually because they do look wonderful on this vehicle, but also in function, in the sense that if you do end up with a roof rack, they're going to double up, not only as a step for you to get into your vehicle very easily, but a great place to get up to the roof rack here. Now, at stock height, the Tacoma doesn't sit too high by any means, but when you're getting in and out of the vehicle, it's going to make it extremely easy just to be able to hop up into place. It is a 4-inch drop on these steps, so that is something to keep in mind, as you are going to lose that bit of ground clearance there on the bottom of the vehicle. But I would think even with that 4-inch drop, you're going to have no problem getting over anything you may find on the trails. So these Nerf Bars are going to feature these 4-inch drops like we talked about. And then as far as the material that we have to be able to step on, it's got all this serrated area that's going to be about 3 3/4 inches wide, and then you've got just another 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch here right outside that. So that's going to be more than enough area for you to safely be able to get your foot up onto. Now, this is going to feature a step for both the front and rear doors on the vehicle, so that way if you've got children or maybe just somebody that has a hard time getting up into your truck, that's going to help them be able to safely hop up in the vehicle. Now, we do have a lot of options on our website when it comes to Nerf Bars, but if I had to pick a favorite, I'm going with these Westin Outlaw Nerf Bars for sure. Again, that 4-inch drop just really looks good on the vehicle and still gives us more than enough clearance to be able to get out on those smaller trails if we needed to. Now, when you are selecting your Nerf Bars, of course, make sure you use that fit guide on our website, putting in that year, make, and model, so that way everything will be confirmed fit for your vehicle. And we're going to go ahead and hop into the install now. This one is extremely easy. We're just going to remove some OEM hardware, get everything in place, and then tightened up. I'm going to walk you through that whole process, and if you happen to watch the video and think to yourself, I don't want to try to tackle that because I don't want to have to be on the ground, go ahead and check out our dealer locator on the website. That'll get you a trained professional in your area that can help get these installed for you. But for all those DIYers, let's go ahead and hop into it. Now, to get going, we are going to identify everything that we've got in our kit. I've already got our passenger side on, so we're just going to be looking at the driver's side, but it is a mirror image of what we've got here on the driver's side. And we'll begin with these brackets. And on the bracket, it's going to have a marking either PF or DF for the passenger front or driver front. So that's how we'll identify our front brackets. And then the center and rears are going to have either PC or PR, or in our case, since we're doing the driver, DC and DR. And both the middle and rear brackets are the exact same, so it doesn't matter where they end up. On the bars themselves, we are going to have the same type of identifier. It's going to have our part number, and then it'll end with either D or P, the same way the brackets did. So we've got our driver's side bar here, and we're just going to have that down below the vehicle for now. That'll help us identify the hardware we need to remove underneath. Now, we're doing all of this in the air just because it's going to be easier for the video purposes of this, but all this could be done from the ground. This is probably one of the easier installations like we had talked about earlier on. So let's go ahead and get under the vehicle. I'll help you identify what hardware we're removing. So here underneath the driver's side, if you look at the way the mounting brackets are going to be going onto the rail, that is going to help us identify our set of two 12mm head bolts that we will need to remove. We're going to start here at the front, and then I'll show you working your way back where to remove those from. Now we'll start at these two front bolts and just take those out. Again, these are a 12mm head for all 6 that we're taking out. And here towards the center of the cab, we've got 2 more that we'll take out. And and 2 more at the rear where the bracket's going to hang. And now that is one thing to pay attention to, because there's going to be 2 sets of 2 back here. With the bar laid down, we can see that it's going to line up with that bracket back here. So we go to the rearmost 2. Now coming back up to the front of the cab, we're going to start with that front bracket marked either PF or DF. Again, since we're doing the driver's side, this one's marked DF. And we're going to use those holes that we took the OEM hardware out of to be able to get this all lined back up. And if you need to, with just the front bracket, they give you a little slot that allows you to slide that into place. Just start your hardware and slide that up over. Now, before we put that up, I did want to talk about how we're going to be mounting that. It's going to be the smaller set of bolts, followed by a lock washer on that, and then our flat washer. So that will be the hardware for all 6 of our mounting points. So we can hold that bracket in place, take our last piece of hardware here, and all these we're just going to leave finger tight for now, so just take them all the way down to the bottom as far as we can get with our hand. That's going to allow us to get the bar and all the rest of the brackets lined up once we go to mount that. And we'll repeat that exact same process with our center and rear brackets. Now we can lift the rail into place. We're going to have the brackets on the rail back behind the bracket for the mounting position. So just make sure you've got those sitting behind that. And we're going to take those flange bolts, come through the front face of the bracket and into the rail. You have to wiggle and adjust that into place. Just get both of those lined up. And then you can use the box that this came in to help support it. I'm going to kind of cheat and use a block of wood that we had around the shop just to be able to hold that up while we get the rest of the hardware in. So on the back side of our bolt, we're going to have these flange nuts that we're just going to get hand tight for now. Now do the exact same thing for our center bracket and rear bracket. Now back underneath the vehicle, we can start to just snug everything down. Come back through with a 14mm head socket and tighten down all the hardware that we put up into the side of the body. Now we're going to go back through that hardware using a torque wrench to torque that to the specifications shown in the instruction manual. If you don't have a torque wrench, you can pick one up along with your order from us, or head down to that local parts store and they'll be able to rent one out for you. Now you will want to get the angle of the bar how you would like it before we tighten down all the hardware on the bottom of the bar that's going on those brackets. So again, use that box to kind of get where you'd like your foot position to end up. Or like we've done here, a block of wood. This just gives you a standard to be able to set both sides at the same angle. So make sure you do that. You will need a 15mm wrench and 15mm socket, preferably with a swivel, to be able to get these ones up on the inside. So just keep that in mind when you're going into this. It is a different torque specification for this hardware than it was the stuff on the inside that we mounted the brackets with, so just make sure you're double checking those instructions. And once you have the driver's side all torqued, go ahead, hop over to that passenger side and repeat for the exact same process of mounting that. And that's going to do for our look at an installation of the Westin Outlaw Nerf Bars with drop steps. My name is Ian with eTrailer, and I appreciate you watching.